thank you very much to all the speakers. We are going to very quickly take a couple of questions, and I'd like to go down the row starting at this end. Fast answers, if possible, please. In robotics, what's the one thing you would like AI to do the best?
Well, predict anatomy and complications, improve outcomes. Fast enough?
Perfect.
For us in robotic colonoscopy, I think AI is already doing quite well in polyp detection, and mixing that with robotic capability of stabilizing interaction with tissue, I think that would be a game changer.
For me, it's anatomy recognition in order to identify no-fly zone where actually the surgeon cannot go without, so reducing complication at the end.
Yeah, I think we are all aligned. So reduce the amount of errors that may happen on the field. Yeah.
Yeah, just I guess add to that, I'd love to think we could measure and quantify surgery so that at some point there's the ability to give feedback.
So I have a quick question about between the engineering part and the clinical part. So it's kind of the same thing. It's about interoperability. So we have 150 different platforms. We talked today about gathering big data that's proprietary to each company. It seems like that's a recipe for chaos. So from the engineering side of it, how are we going to solve this interoperability? And from the clinical side of it, how do you train? Each of these different platforms is going to need a different training schema, and I'm sure you're thinking about that ahead of time.
So I speak from a clinical point of view. Well, we, at some point, will have to choose. We'll have to choose the best for our practice, which depends on many things, preferences, specialty, technology, obviously. And we'll have to focus on that because I think we have to keep putting together the kinematics and the clinical data. They don't go alone. It's just two things that we have to put together. So it's really something that we have to do.
Maybe we'll keep it clinical, so Luigi. Yeah.
Well, I have to say that yes, indeed. I think within a certain hospital, you need to choose which platform are you going to use it, so you can standardization in surgery is something important also robotic. From my perspective, there are some common ground in different robotic systems that I try. When I tested this couple of Chinese system, I found myself very comfortable. It was a very quick learning curve if you want. The most learning curve is actually for the theater setup. So I think if we can train with one system, then the other one, of course, will require, but there were much shorter learning curve than the one we have to do it at the very beginning when we start doing it.
And from the engineering, Pietro?
From the engineering perspective, of course, availability of nicely annotated data sets is crucial. It is something that a startup probably doesn't have the resources to do. So as far as the company grows and get to the point of intuitive or big players, at that point, I think it's good for the community and should be done.
Yeah, if I can add something on engineering, of course it's feasible, meaning that share the space where to save all this information, define some guidelines on how to save it and how to classify it, for example, and but I think will not happen.
David, comment?
Yeah, I guess I'd like to think we could actually share, and that would be nice, because everyone thinks that data is valuable, but unless you actually do something with it, it's not. And so we are sharing stuff with NVIDIA, although it's a collaboration. But I think I'd like to think we could actually start sharing a little bit more, particularly if there's something that differentiates what you're doing, you can keep that to yourself. But the other data, which is more generically usable, then if we could share it, then algorithms would get better, they get deployed, and actually what we're all trying to get to is better patient outcomes. And if you actually do it, it's okay.
You should probably do like we did with the DNA with Genoma project. Everybody was sharing information in order to decode the entire DNA. Then of course each lab, of course, has got its own data. They will keep it. Probably, I think that has always been my dream in general for data, having something that actually can be shared for everybody. That would make things much quicker, I guess.
For sure. I want to add that I think the main sponsor of this should be the hospitals, that having more machine can decide probably to store all the same this information from different products in the same way, and then potentially agreements between hospitals makes this database even bigger.